Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome to another GTA Online video here on the channel. And with the announcement of the GTA Online December DLC, we don't have an official name for it just yet, so I just have to call it the December or Winter update. But the initial announcement at the very least gives us a centralized theme for the update, and that is more so back to high-end or luxury cars, as well as drift or more tuner style of vehicles. So in this video, I'm going to go over some vehicles that I would like to see brought to the game when the update does release, or vehicles that I think would fit the update, a mix of both. Now first up, a big part of the December DLC has to do with the fact that Yusuf Amir, a character from GTA 4, or rather a GTA 4 DLC, The Battle to Give You Tony, is coming back. So I personally think this would be the perfect update to bring back some vehicles from GTA 4 that didn't make their way into GTA 5. And so the first one on this list, many of you guys probably can guess it, I've had it on my list many times before, is the PMP 600, based on the Chrysler 300. It's one of my favorite cars from GTA 4, and I think it would be an ideal scenario for it to come back in this update. The Chrysler 300 was also featured in Midnight Club 3, so we know a GTA Online version of it could also have some relevancy in the street racing scene as well, with a good amount of customization for it. Next, let's talk about another GTA 4 vehicle. This has almost got to come to the game, I feel. I would be shocked if it didn't in this update, and that is the Super Drop Diamond. Now, for those who didn't play the Battle to Give You Tony DLC, this was Yusuf Amir's iconic car, the convertible version of the Super Diamond. Now, in GTA Online, we already do have the Super Diamond and the Windsor Drop vehicles, but not the two-door convertible Super Drop Diamond. So this one likely wouldn't even be that difficult for them to implement, although if they did add it in, I'd like to see it have a bit better performance than the old Super Diamond, and possibly even have a Monitech and armor plating options for it, just like with the Jubilee that we got back in the contract update. This car could also potentially be a Tier 4 reward for completing the new DLC's Tier 4 challenge, assuming they do add one for this one. But that would also imply that it's next-gen only, which shouldn't be the case. Everyone on all platforms should be able to drive this car. Moving on, I'm going to finish up the GTA 4 vehicles really quick with the Coquette, the Turismo, and the Super GT. The Turismo, I unfortunately don't think will be coming, at least in this update. And the reason for that is because we are already getting the Turismo Omaggio. So I just don't see them adding in two Turismo supercars in one update. Not saying it's impossible, but it just seems very unlikely, as much as I do want to see the Turismo added. The Super GT, you might say, looks a lot like the already existing Ocelot F620, but they aren't exactly the same thing. This could perhaps go in the sports car category within GTA Online. Out of the three, I think the GTA 4 Coquette would probably be the most likely one they would add, give it some good customization, some spoiler options, and liveries, and it would make a great fit in GTA Online. Another honorable mention that I do want to throw in here is the GTA 4 Sentinel based on the BMW M3 E46. This would absolutely fit the tuner theme or drift theme, and I know we do have a lot of Sentinels in GTA Online, the Sentinel XS, the Sentinel Classic, the Sentinel Classic Wide Body, but as time goes on, that's just going to happen naturally as we get more and more cars, because at this point we also have like 7 different baller variants and a bunch of Comet variants too, so having another Sentinel wouldn't be too bad. But that does it for the GTA 4 cars. Everything from here on out will be all new vehicles that we have never gotten in a GTA game before. For the first new vehicle, I'm predicting another new Rolls-Royce. Again, given the theme, this just makes sense. And given Rockstar's seeming obsession with electric vehicles lately over the past few updates, I think a vehicle based on the Rolls-Royce Spectre would be very fitting. It's electric, it's a Rolls-Royce, and it looks awesome. And I know I say this with almost every car, but I can picture this also having a Monitech and armor plating upgrades for it. And perhaps this is the vehicle that Yusuf Amir drives in today's day and age instead of the old Super Drop Diamond from GTA 4, just like how with Franklin's update, they gave him a newer Dodge Charger. Yusuf could just have a newer Rolls-Royce. And for another electric vehicle, I'm predicting either the Cybertruck or the Hummer EV. It would be one or the other, not both. If I had to choose one, I would probably pick the Hummer EV just because it does look nicer, even though the Cybertruck would be strictly for the memes. These both would be electric SUVs, which is a category of vehicles that isn't too saturated. In fact, it's kind of barren. The only other electric SUV that comes to mind is the iWagon that released back in the contract update, so I would not mind having another one added. Moving on from electric vehicles, a Bullet Classic would be a very nice car to have in-game. And when I say Bullet Classic, I mean a vehicle based on the Ford GT40. This is a very highly requested vehicle in GTA Online, and it has been for some time now. When it comes to the bullets, the regular bullet came out originally in the Battle to Give You Tony DLC, at least in the HD universe. It was in GTA San Andreas as well, but the HD debut of the vehicle was in the infamous GTA 4 DLC. It was in GTA 5 from the very beginning, and then later on in GTA Online we received the FMJ, which is a more modern version of the Ford GT. But we have yet to get an older classic version of it based on the Ford GT40. And maybe they even keep up with the bullet type names too, or maybe just flat out call it the Bullet Classic, that works too. I know I mentioned how we have so many Comet variants in the game already, but what if instead of adding a wide body to a vehicle, like we've seen with the Sentinel Classic wide body or the Obey 10F wide body, they remove one and give us the Comet Retro without the wide body on it? Usually Rockstar likes to add a couple of variants of existing vehicles each DLC, so this would fall right in line with that. And plus, then we can get the Johnny Silverhand Cyberpunk livery on the true model of the Porsche it belongs to instead of the modern day one that we have right now. Going back to the SUV category, the Jeep Trackhawk would be a nice addition to the SUV class. Maybe they call it the Canis Street Eagle as a play on words for the Trackhawk name. And I could see this one being beefed up with an HSW upgrade and maybe even the new drift tuning that they talked about also. It could definitely have the potential to be one of the more customizable SUVs in GTA Online as well as one of the faster ones. And this is yet another vehicle that I feel is highly requested by the community. And for my last two vehicles, we can't forget about the tuner or drifting theme. So I'm going with an older model of the Honda NSX. This would be a new addition to the tuners family and would have the drift tuning available to be applied to it. It could potentially be in the Sports Classics class depending on how they would design the performance of the vehicle. The tricky part about this is with the name, because they couldn't really call it the Jester because the Jester name is already widely used in GTA Online. We have the Jester Classic for the old Toyota Supra, the regular Jester, which is a modern day Honda NSX, and the Jester RR for the modern day Supra. So I personally think they should just scrap that name entirely and come up with a new one if they were to ever add this vehicle to GTA Online. And my last vehicle that I would like to see added is none other than one from an infamous drift racing movie, the Lancer Evo 9. I know we have the Kuruma, which is based off of a Lancer Evolution already, and the Sultan Classic also loosely resembles an Evo, but we don't have one that's quite like the one from the Tokyo Drift movie. And I mean, how do you add in drift racing without bringing in an iconic car known in pop culture from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift? We already have the Mazda RX-7, even though it's not the Veilside version. We got the Nissan Silvio in the Tuners update, and we have the Annis Euros, which has a livery that is clearly designed off of the Drift King's Nissan 350Z from the movie. We know Rockstar likes to make references to Fast and Furious movies, so to me this would be a no-brainer. It's got to be coming, and it's got to have drift tuning as well. But that is my list of 10 or so vehicles that I would like to see added in the next DLC. Do you agree with the cars that I listed in this video? And what cars do you personally want to see added in the next update? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.